If you're over 50 and you feel like the world's moved on without you, you're wrong. This is the beginning of your most powerful chapter. Let's talk about the truth, not the polite version, not the sugar-coated one. The truth is, the world quietly tells you that after 50, you're supposed to slow down, retire, wind down, watch the next generation take over. But what if that's a lie? What if after 50 is when you're finally ready to build your best life? Today, I want to challenge everything you've been told about age, productivity, and purpose. Because staying productive after 50, that's not a burden, it's your greatest advantage. And by the time this video ends, I'll show you a completely different way to look at time, energy, and impact so you walk away with real practical steps that you can use today. But listen carefully, because the last part of this message is where the transformation happens. Before we go further, tell me, what city are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below, because I want to know where this message is reaching across the world. And if you believe this kind of conversation needs to happen more often, like and subscribe. This message isn't just for you, it's for every man and woman who's ever felt forgotten after 50. Let me start here. I once said publicly, persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. Think about that for a second. It's not about how old you are. It's about how long you're willing to stay in the game. And if you're over 50, you have something younger people don't have. Clarity, emotional intelligence, discipline, and less time to waste. You're no longer chasing every shiny object. You've seen failure, you've felt disappointment, you've had wins and losses. That's your superpower. But here's the mistake most people make after 50. They stop stretching, they stop imagining, they stop starting, because somewhere along the way, we convinced ourselves that being productive has an expiration date. And I want to tell you today clearly and directly, that is false. So let me ask you, when was the last time you started something new? A skill, a project, a discipline, even a passion? If you're thinking it's been years, that's okay, because this isn't about regret. It's about reset. Let me show you someone who understood this. Colonel Harlan Sanders. You know, the name Kentucky Fried Chicken. But do you know when he started? 65 years old. No success before that. But he believed he still had something to offer. And he built an empire after retirement age. Now, I'm not saying go start a fried chicken business. What I am saying is the only thing between you and what's next is the story you keep telling yourself about age. Here's a mindset I want you to write down, or at least say out loud. My best energy is not behind me. It's inside me waiting for direction. You see, people always ask me, how do you stay productive when you're already successful? And my answer is the same. Purpose produces energy, not coffee, not motivation videos. Purpose. So if you feel like you've slowed down, it's not because you're older, it's because your purpose got blurred. That's what we fix first. Here's what I want you to do today. Find the one thing that still excites your mind, not what makes money, not what impresses others. What makes your brain feel alive? Maybe it's writing, maybe it's mentoring, maybe it's solving problems in your community. Start there. Start small, but start today. And if you're someone who prays, ask God to make that purpose clear again. Because clarity is not just about logic, it's about calling. And sometimes that whisper inside you, that's the divine telling you it's not over yet. Now, what do you do after you find that spark? How do you turn it into consistent daily productivity even if your energy isn't what it used to be? Because that's the trap many fall into. They get inspired, but not consistent. I'm going to break down the exact rhythm I recommend for men and women over 50 to get more done with, less stress and more clarity. It's not a calendar hack. It's a life rhythm. If you've ever said, I want to stay sharp, but I just don't know where to start, I will show you exactly how. And remember, your time isn't running out. It's finally beginning to matter. Before we continue, let me know in the comments, what's one thing you wish you had started earlier in life but still want to try now? You're not alone. And this journey, we're walking it together. You don't need more time. You need the right rhythm for the time you already have. That's what most people over 50 misunderstand. You try to force your energy into someone else's routine, a 25-year-old influencer's morning ritual, a productivity app designed for people who've never raised kids or survived real loss. And that's why you keep burning out. But what if I told you there's a rhythm of productivity made specifically for people over 50, a rhythm that doesn't exhaust you, but actually multiplies your energy? That's what we're building today. Let's get something straight. You are not supposed to match the energy of your younger years. You're supposed to be smarter with it. And that starts with your daily rhythm. Here's what I mean. In your 20s and 30s, it's about speed. After 50, it's about sequence. The order you do things in matters more than the number of things you do. Can I ask you something honestly? When you wake up in the morning, do you feel clear, or do you immediately feel like you're behind? Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the first thing you do after you open your eyes? That one decision determines your entire mental rhythm for the day. Now, here's the rhythm I recommend. It's simple, but powerful. I call it think, move, build. Let me break it down. 1. Think. First 60 to 90 minutes. Don't check your phone. Don't open the news. Don't start with noise. Start with silence. Journaling, prayer, reading, stretching. Let your mind arrive before the world invades it. When you start reactive, you spend your whole day reacting. When you start reflective, you lead your day with clarity. 2. Move for 30 minutes. You don't need to run a marathon, but you do need to move your body every single day. Studies show that people who move consistently after 50 reduce the risk of cognitive decline by over 30%. That's not just physical health, that's mental sharpness. So walk, use resistance bands, do low-impact stretching, but make it non-negotiable. 3, build your 3-hour power block. After clarity and movement, spend 2 to 3 hours building what matters most. Not cleaning the garage, not checking emails, not running errands. Build. Build your craft, build your business, build your new purpose. And if you work full-time, do this before your job. If you're retired, make this your real job. Because building gives you meaning. Let me tell you about Joyce, a retired teacher from Ohio I met during a live event years ago. She was 62. Told me she had always wanted to write a children's book, but never made time. After retirement, she started using this think, move, build rhythm. 6 months later, she had a published book, and it was being used in classrooms across her district, not because she had more energy, but because she focused her energy in the right order. You know what most adults over 50 struggle with? Mental fatigue. It's not that you're tired, it's that your brain is cluttered. When you put thinking first, movement second, and building third, you're respecting your natural cognitive peak. Neurological studies show the average adult brain is sharpest between 8 a.m. and noon. Don't waste those golden hours. So I want you to try this rhythm for the next 3 days. Then come back and leave a comment below. I did the rhythm. Let us know what changed in your energy, clarity, or focus. And remember, progress doesn't come from information. It comes from rhythm, and rhythm comes from intention. And if you're a person of faith, invite God into the rhythm. Ask Him to order your day, because order isn't just a system, it's a spiritual alignment. Now, you've learned the rhythm, but how do you protect it from distractions? How do you stop the world from stealing your time, your peace, and your energy? I'm going to show you how to reclaim your focus in a noisy world. We'll talk about devices, toxic habits, and the invisible enemies of progress after 50, because it's not just about getting more done, it's about not letting the wrong things steal your life away. So if you're still here, I want to acknowledge something. You've already done what 90% of people don't. You stayed, you listened. You're building your life on purpose. Your second half of life, it's about to be the best half. You don't need more motivation. You need less noise. Let's be honest. If you're over 50, you didn't grow up with distractions in your pocket. You didn't scroll your mornings away or live half your life inside a screen. But now, even you can feel it. The mental fog, the scattered thoughts, the hours that vanish without a trace. This isn't about age. It's about attention. I'll show you how to protect your most valuable currency, focus. So you can finally stop wasting your energy on things that don't matter and start building what does. A retired veteran named Carl once told me something I'll never forget. He said, "I didn't realize I was still in a war until I saw what was stealing my peace." That hit me because many of us are fighting a silent battle, not with people, but with constant digital noise. And here's what you need to know. Distraction isn't passive. It's active theft. You see, the modern world wants you scattered because a scattered mind is easy to sell to, easy to control, and easy to keep stuck, but not you, not anymore. Because today, I'll show you how to rebuild your attention, not with apps, but with intention. Let me ask you something directly. When was the last time you finished a day and actually felt clear-headed? Not busy, not overwhelmed, but clear? If that's rare for you, stay with me, because this part will give you tools you can use today. Drop a comment. What's the biggest distraction that pulls you away daily? Is it your phone, TV, worry? Let's call it out together, because what you don't name will keep owning you. Here's what I want you to write down. Protecting my focus is protecting my purpose. There are three major enemies of focus I see in adults over 50. And if you don't spot them, they'll quietly steal your best years. 1. Digital overload. The average adult now spends over 7 hours a day in front of screens. You check your phone an average of 58 times a day. Even you, over 50. The fix? Turn off non-essential notifications. Every ding is a decision, and every decision costs mental bandwidth. Create a 4-hour window of undisturbed time each morning. Put your phone in another room. Put a sign on the door if you have to. 2. Mental clutter. Not all distraction is digital. Sometimes it's internal. Thoughts like, what if it's too late? What if no one cares what I do now? Maybe I should just rest. That's not your voice. That's fear. You clear mental clutter by practicing mind dumping each evening. Write down everything that's buzzing in your mind before bed. Tasks, worries, questions. Don't solve them. Just get them out. 3. Passive consumption. After 50, your brain thrives on creation, not consumption. Watching endless content, even good content, puts your brain in a passive state. The fix? For every hour of consumption, do 30 minutes of creation. Write something, build something, call someone, make real human impact. You're not meant to just observe life, you're meant to shape it. Let's imagine this together. You wake up, and for the first 3 hours of the day, your phone is off, your mind is clear, your purpose is centered. You walk, you pray, you build, no interruptions, no guilt, just forward motion. What would that do for your week? What could that unlock in your life? The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness isn't laziness. Stillness is access. It's in the stillness that clarity returns. And when you regain clarity, you regain your edge. Try this 3-day challenge starting tomorrow. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Write down every open thought each night. Spend 30 minutes building something daily. Create a 4-hour focus zone each morning. Then come back and comment. I reclaimed my focus. Let's build this discipline together. Now, even after we fix our rhythm and protect our focus, there's something else that quietly sabotages adults after 50. People, toxic people, draining environments, relationships that suffocate growth. I'll show you how to protect your productivity from negative people without burning bridges or isolating yourself. You'll learn the boundary strategies that the most productive people over 50 use to stay sane and strong. It might be the most important part of this whole message. Remember this, what you don't eliminate will eventually eliminate your focus. So take your time back, take your mind back. Your clarity is your comeback. It's not your age that's draining your energy, it's your access to your time, your emotions, your space, your peace. The wrong people will quietly sabotage your productivity, not by attacking it, but by distracting it, draining it, and disrespecting it. Let's talk about something no one teaches in school or retirement books. How to build emotional and environmental boundaries after 50 without guilt, without drama, so you can finally focus on your mission. And yes, you still have a mission. No matter your age, no matter who left, no matter who laughed. Before we continue, let me ask you, do you feel like someone or something in your life is constantly pulling you off track, interrupting your peace, making you second guess your purpose? Drop it in the comments. What's your biggest boundary challenge right now? Whether it's people, places, or even your own inner voice. Let's name it together. Because what you won't confront, you can't overcome. And if this message has helped you so far, like the video and subscribe. We're building a new path for adults and seniors who refuse to settle. And you belong in this community? Here's what I've seen happen to many adults after 50. They begin with clarity. They wake up motivated. They start building something that matters. But then someone calls, someone criticizes, someone dumps their chaos into your calm, and before you know it, your day is gone. Your mind is cluttered. Your purpose is paused. Not because you failed, but because you gave unfiltered access to the wrong people. Write this down. What I allow, I encourage. If someone constantly interrupts your focus, that's not just their behavior, it's your boundary. And boundaries are not about being rude. They're about being clear. Clarity protects purpose. 3 core boundaries to reclaim. After 50, 1, boundary of time. Set sacred time blocks where no one interrupts you. You're not being selfish. You're being stewardly with your time. I recommend a simple phrase, I have a commitment during that window, but I can talk after. That commitment, that's you. Your purpose, your creation time, no apology needed. 2, boundary of emotion. Stop letting other people's emergencies hijack your peace. It's okay to say, I care about you, but I'm not the right person to fix this. Compassion does not mean constant rescue, especially when rescuing others leaves you empty. Ask yourself, am I helping or enabling? 3, boundary of environment. Your physical space reflects your mental space. Is your workspace cluttered? Is your home chaotic? Do you surround yourself with people who speak life or people who drain it? One study found that adults over 50 who regularly interact with negative or judgmental people experience faster cognitive decline. Your environment is not neutral. It either fuels your growth or stunts it. I met a man named Terry at a conference in Texas, was 67, retired engineer. Told me he had a dream to start teaching young boys how to build model rockets. But every time he tried to begin, his grown children would call him for money, favors, help with things they could solve themselves. He told me, I love them, but I feel like I never get to live my own life. We talked boundaries. 2 months later, he called back. Said, I finally built my first class of 12 boys. I said no for the first time, and I've never felt this free. That's the power of boundaries. They don't push people away. They invite your purpose closer. Even Scripture tells us in Proverbs, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding your time, guarding your peace, guarding your purpose. That is wisdom, not selfishness. Ask God to show you who needs less access to your life and who you've been prioritizing out of fear instead of faith. Let's take action today. Identify one person, habit, or pattern that drains your energy. Write a new boundary statement you can use next time. Clear one part of your physical space and claim it as your focus zone. Post a comment below with, I set a boundary today. Every comment encourages someone else to do the same. Now, if you've been following this journey, you're probably thinking, okay, I've got the rhythm. I've protected my focus. I've set boundaries. But what happens when all these pieces start working together? I'll give you the full circle transformation, how these simple decisions unlock your most productive, powerful, and purpose-filled years. I'll show you the actual 50-plus hack, the mindset shift that turns your age into your greatest competitive advantage, and how people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s are building legacies, businesses, and missions that outperform their younger selves. If you've made it this far, you've already done more than most. You've stopped accepting average. You've started protecting what matters. Let me say this with complete certainty. Your age is not your obstacle. It's your edge. If you're over 50, you're not behind. You're not slowing down. You're finally at the stage where you can move forward without the noise, the confusion, or the distractions that once held you back. The 50-plus hack I'm about to show you, it's not about squeezing more hours out of your day. It's about extracting more meaning out of every moment you still have. This is what we've been building toward. You found purpose again. You learned the rhythm that sustains it. You reclaimed your focus. You protected your boundaries. Now, here comes the transformation. The mindset that ties everything together, I call it the legacy operating system. It's the ultimate hack for productivity. After 50, and it's not about speed, it's about significance. Can I ask you something deeply personal? If your time on Earth ended a year from now, what would be the one thing you wish you had finally done? Just one thing. Would it be writing that book? Reconciling with someone? Teaching your wisdom? Starting that nonprofit? Building something your grandkids would remember you for? Drop it in the comments. Not for me, but for you. Because writing it makes it real. Here's the 50-plus hack. Live every day like your legacy already started. Most people wait. They think legacy is something that happens after they die. That's wrong. Your legacy is happening right now. In your choices, in your voice, in your presence. The productivity mindset after 50 must shift from how much can I get done to what will still matter 10 years from now. That's the filter. That's the operating system. Every decision you make, every task, every conversation, every goal, ask yourself, does this echo beyond me? Because once you align your energy with eternal value, you stop getting distracted by temporary noise. Let me tell you about Beverly, a 73-year-old woman from North Carolina. She spent her whole life working in administration. After retiring, she felt invisible. She told me, I don't know who I am without work. But then she began volunteering at a local library. One day, a 12-year-old girl came in, struggling with reading. Beverly sat with her 3 times a week. 3 years later, that same girl gave a speech at her middle school graduation and thanked Miss Beverly, the woman who taught me how to believe in myself. That's legacy. And it started the moment Beverly said yes to purpose. If you're a person of faith, I encourage you to pray this today. God, show me what still matters. Use what I still have. Make my final years my most fruitful years. Because the creator of time didn't bring you this far just to sit still. There is still work to do, and it's good work. Here's how to activate the legacy operating system. Write your 3 echo list. What 3 actions can you take this year that will echo long after you're gone? Commit to a weekly purpose project. It could be mentoring, creating, teaching, or building. 1 hour per week. Minimum, eliminate 1 empty habit this week. Replace 30 minutes of scrolling, television, or idle chatter with something that aligns with your legacy. Speak life daily. Call, text, or visit someone who needs encouragement. Your voice could change their path. Say this affirmation every morning. My age is my strength. My time is sacred. My life still builds something beautiful. Listen to me. You don't need permission. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need another course or another opinion. You need a decision. A decision to live with legacy in mind. Because when you shift your focus from surviving to significance, you stop wasting time and start creating something timeless. Drop this in the comments if you're ready. My legacy starts now. Let the world know you're not done. You're just finally getting to the part that matters most. Like this video if it gave you value. Subscribe to join this movement of men and women who are rising stronger after 50. Not slowing down, but stepping up, because your most productive years are not behind you. They start the moment you believe you're still here for a reason. Don't count the days. Make the days count, and let them echo forever.